Top 5 wrong advice you should avoid in your business and marketing. Hey everybody, my name is Mo, and in this channel, we're gonna talk about business, self-improvement, marketing, digital marketing, sales, and everything that you should learn to grow your business. So let's go. Number 1, just focus on digital marketing. Traditional and old marketing is dead. No, that's not true. Of course, it is true that after internet boom, the concept of marketing has completely changed and everything shifted to digital. But the fact is there are still so many people who see billboards, flyers, and magazines. You might be surprised to know in these days almost 124 million people in the United States still reading newspapers. Interesting, I didn't know that. This shows that despite the prevalence of social media and internet, newspaper ads are still effective. However, it's definitely less than before. And you can't believe it, almost 244 million people in the United States is still listening to radio, and also 125 million still watching TV. I'm not talking about Netflix or YouTube or any other stuff. I'm talking about TV, literal old TV that you had before. I know that advertising on TV and radio is quite expensive and less effective than Facebook or Google ads. Nevertheless, it remains very useful for brand awareness. So instead of completely disregarding marketing and advertisement in traditional ways, based on your area, business type, and country, you can use these old and traditional ways to grow your business. For example, for local business, methods like flyers or billboards can often be more effective. However, of course, it's essential to prioritize digital marketing. Number 2, don't use exception to justify a rule or idea. In fact, a marketing method worked for one person. We should research and analyze whether it will work for others or not, and considering factors such as different areas, cultures, and type of business, or even period of time. For example, when Instagram algorithm was not so smart and sophisticated, it was really easy to grow on Instagram. But now simply uploading video or making simple content will not help you to grow on Instagram. So you should learn about algorithm and stay updated. And instead of copying successful methods, you should ensure that it is an update and currently effective method. The marketing method is still applicable in your business field and competitive landscapes, and consider if you have the necessary budget and resources. For instance, if your competitor is using animation to do advertisement or for marketing and for content marketing, you should consider that you have enough budget to hire an animator, or you by yourself, can you create animation? Let's go to the next one. Next one is click that like button and subscribe to my channel if you think my content is useful for you. Thank you so much. Next one. Number 3, stick to one marketing method, especially saturated one. Instead of sticking to saturated marketing methods, consider trends and rise and eventually saturate. It is definitely crucial to have plan B. Creatively change your methods and with small tweaks that can make a significant difference. So saturated methods are becoming so repetitive for people. For example, you have seen this kind of marketing. For the first time, it would be effective for you. For the second time is less, third time is less, and fourth time you will not. Like, for example, on YouTube. Can you remember those days that everybody used clickbaits? But by the passing of the time, so many people understood that if something is not rational, so it's just a clickbait. And then people stopped clicking on those clickbaits thumbnails. For example, in real world business, if your call to action is like buy now, discount, and stuff like this, you could change them on your website. Like, for example, save 30% now and keep more money. This one would be very good call to action. You can try it. Just sit somewhere and think about it. Number 4. Okay, take a look. This is iPhone and this is Galaxy Samsung. Almost everybody in these days using them. Yeah, maybe you're gonna say, yeah, my phone is Xiaomi, but these two has large amount of users in the world. But the point is, you are not Apple, you are not Samsung, you are a small business. So number 4 is reaching large amount of people is wrong advice. You cannot reach everyone. We have an expression in YouTube. They say, if you try to reach everyone, you will reach no one. Many successful companies started working with niching down. Like, as you can see, one of the biggest companies in the world now these days, it's very trend in the technology is NVIDIA. They just started creating some small chipsets and graphic cards for laptop and computers. But these days they are expanding their businesses. Through AI, they are growing much faster and unbelievable. Or even before Facebook acquired the Instagram was specifically for photographer people, because you could just upload some pictures. If you can remember, it was like 2010. If Instagram had attempt to compete with Facebook with uploading video and stuff like this and be very general social media, definitely they would fail to Facebook. However, Instagram expanded itself and used video, but this happened after Facebook bought Instagram. Yeah, I know, man, I know. Now you are gonna say, man, in the video thumbnail you mentioned that you should not niche down. So what the heck is this? Was it a clickbait? Definitely not. Wait for number 5. Number 5 is niching down. But how? I mean, niching down too much levels. Like, okay, this is your area of working, and we should niche down 1 level and 2 level. But if you try to niche down 3, 4, 5 levels, it will not work for you. In fact, by overly narrowing down too much, you're getting risk to losing so much potential clients and limit your business scalability. Even if you excel in that specific niche. For instance, if you have an online shop and you want to sell some kind of clothes, okay, it is good to niche down on shoes or very specific shoes for like sport shoes. But if you niche down to like selling white sport and for big size people, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're niching down to white shoes. Okay, you're losing so many potential clients. Large size, you again losing some clients. And just sport shoes, again, you're losing some potential clients. So make sure that just 1 or 2 levels would be enough for niching down. Then after this niching down, you can find various and specific type of products that really works for your business, and people really eager to buy this kind of and this type of shoes. Then you can use Pareto rule. I don't know, do you have any information about Pareto rule? It's 80-20. It's like 80% of your sales is for 20% of your clients, or 20% of your whole product types will be your 80% of earning. Then you can zoom in on that specific product. I'm not saying that you should just focus on those specific products. You can just try to bring and sell people that specific product more, but never forget to have other products. And one last bonus tip for the people who watched until here. Thank you. Number 6, the misconception that more ads can bring more clients. Of course, it is partly true, but it is partly also false. In fact, there are various and different factors that determine the effectiveness of your advertisement. For example, consider Virgin Cola. Richard Branson, British billionaire, created Virgin Cola and invested heavily in marketing and ads. He even rented a tank and made a dramatic entrance in Times Square in New York, and declaring war against Pepsi and Coca-Cola. However, despite this expensive and aggressive marketing, Virgin Cola, due to some reasons like poor distribution network, brand name issues, and the strong presence of 2 giant competitors like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, Virgin Cola ceased operation in 2014. But even if you are famous and wealthy, even you are Richard Branson, success isn't guaranteed only through extensive marketing and ads, especially when factors like product quality, competition, brand reputation, and other variables come into play. So it is better to start gradually, focusing on your target audience and niching down. Yeah, but remember, not too much niching down. And use your ads and marketing to your target audience. Thank you so much for watching video up to here. If you are a fan of business marketing and if you are a small business, make sure to subscribe my channel. Thank you so much and see you next time.